left that. I should have left the E4 screen up. Whoops.
Yeah, I'll just start recording again at least for the interviews.
Alright, so for who I'm grabbing as interviews, who I have is, let's see here, Lexo's out. Master Reaper would be in this, but he's not in. I can't find him. Alright, so let's see here. We got Panpa who PM'd me saying he's going to be AFK. Afterwards, he could join in.
Yeah, let's see if we can find someone else.
Tyrone dropped out as well for right now. Northern Sentinel will be a guy. I'm going to make sure people are okay with it before I move them.
You're still recording, right?
Alright, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
You didn't stop the recording, right?
Right, I have not stopped the recording. I'm pulling people in for interviews. Let's see here. Only one I'm missing now is... I hijacked you, Spam, since you're on the list.
What?
I have the list for people on who want to get interviewed.
Okay. Okay, so how are we going to do this?
Let me finish moving people in. Okay, I am back here. I'm not sure what he's doing. He may be. Oh, sorry. This is people who PM me. People who PM me. Do you guys also want to? Do you guys still want to do the interview thing?
Sure, I guess.
I would like to, but is it a good idea to have this many people in the chat? Because it might get quite...
So unless you don't talk over each other.
Everyone will hear it, but it's chaotic.
Oh yeah, my mic's also fucked up with Discord right now, so...
Oh, I was looking at the same link as you.
Alrighty, so... So, with that said, there have been quite a few developments this session. A lot of people did very, very well. So, would anyone want to... So, I'll throw it out there. Does anyone want to particularly talk about what they've done this session?
The best way if we don't do this in a structured way, a lot of people will just won't either talk or just talk through each other. Just ask specific questions, and after a while we just.
I'm pulling up the save game, which is why I asked this right now.
Okay. I have the game open. Oh crap! I got a telephone. Sorry about that. How about we just go down the list? Bohemia, how did our session went?
Well, that's an interesting one. Actually, it's been a pretty tough session for me in the beginning. I started the session 500 ducats in debt, negative manpower, and a regency for 12 years, which, you know, actually sucked. The only light at the end of the tunnel was that my new leader is quite good. It's a 325, which, considering I am running defensive ideas, has certainly carried me through the war with Poland later on. It has caused me to finish defensive ideas, and I almost fell under a PU with Saxony as well during the rest of the session. But now with
that would be
of
great.
I'm doing great. Like, I am plus 500 ducats. I've eaten 50-ish development, and I am now carrying a 30-man army, which is half cannons, which I like. I love cannons.
All right. So you've taken 4 provinces from Poland. Can you explain why you wanted those provinces?
Why I wanted those provinces from Poland? Well, two of them were forts, which my allies agreed on that would be smart to take. The other two were to dare to get a border with Hungary. Hungary was beaten down badly by Bosnia, and I think with the fact that they already have claims on Hungary, I can eat them quite quickly next session and finish those lands off, which would allow me to, well, grow quite quickly. And the only thing that's stopping me right now is high AE, but luckily those provinces are not within the HRE, which should help.
Alright, does someone else have any questions?
I've got a question. Yes, I do. So I'm just kind of my personal curiosity on this. I did notice with the Poland War, once Bosnia took their peace deal of Hungary, a quick carpet sieging done by the Palatinate, and Bohemia has now taken the direct method from, or has now taken the land around from Bosnia to get into Poland that way. Just granted, they still have Moldavia, but I'm just kind of curious about that one.
Well, obviously, I wanted to get a border with Hungary, which unfortunately means I block Bosnia from getting to Poland, and they can still get there through Moldavia, so I don't see the problem.
Okay.
Anyone else? Does anyone else have a question for Bohemia? If not, like to move on. We have a lot of people in chat. I guess not. Crimea, how has your session been?
Pretty stable. I didn't conquer anything large, I think. I had one my major war and that's it, I think.
Well, you took what? You took a bite out of Muscovy, a bite out of Uzbek to look like the form Golden Horde based off those provinces.
Actually, my biggest province gain was for Timur because they imploded. And Persia came back, course.
Did you fight the Timurids for that, or did the Persian separatists do the work?
Persia separatists do that.
Alright. Apart from that, it seems like indeed you took a bit of Muscovy and you took a little bit of India, but you're mostly worried about aggressive expansion, I assume?
I didn't touch India in this session, and I don't plan to touch much at all. I actually did a mistake in Muscovy War because I thought I need Nizhny Novgorod instead of Suzdal in order to create Golden Horde. But well, I will fix that next session.
Alright. Does anyone else have a question for Crimea? Seems not. We have a very easy group today. Ethiopia, how was your session?
Decent. I finally managed to get past the Mamluks who were allied to my border of a coastline, and I now have a couple of coastlines thanks to no CB war. So.
Oh, you got Tapa.
Yep. Mutapa and Kilwa are my battles now.
Well, I do have a question for you. So I did notice the no CV on Mutapa. The thing that I was a little bit thrown off by was no CV on them compared to the I initially thought it was the OPM coastal province, so that you could just directly go and eat Mutapa rather than having the vassals sit on the gold mines even longer than needed. So
I don't want the inflation that early. I'd rather delay it a bit, because
that would be my approach.
But you have taken economic and trade ideas, right? So should you be worried about inflation if you already have a national bank?
The reason why I've taken that is I'm planning on going Merchant Republic into Oligarchic Republic. And to go Merchant Republic, I need to increase my trade income. So
I was just wondering because it does decrease your inflation.
Yeah, but having economics along with you can take a lot of more money, and getting the gold mines later on compared to your income would decrease inflation.
Of course.
So I get the idea. We actually discussed it during the game.
Alright, does anyone else have a question for Ethiopia at the moment?
So...
Alright. Well, Florence, you're next.
Just one thing to mention here. I did... Petros did want to get thrown in, here, so as a result, he did get skipped in the order.
What?
Oh, Petros has entered the chat later, so if you want, Petros, you can comment on your session as well.
All I'm trying to do all these years is try to. I am managing through 5 city development Hungarian land full of Orthodox people, just to try and see if I can reach a player. You know, hang
Oh, you
out,
did
be
now.
friends, and what do I get? One player rivals me and the other breaks the alliance. I am sad.
You should have released Albania.
Yes, I should.
It's the karma.
I will. I will.
You will.
So you've taken quite a bit of Hungary. It seems you do not have a coalition yet, I think.
No.
Nope. I have like 2 countries and then they leave and 2 other joins. It's like
Yeah,
there's
it
only
seems
space for 2. So.
Venice and Poland are in a coalition against you, but we both know it's not going to happen anytime soon that those nations will form a coalition.
Yes, and that's because of the strong emperor, right? Right?
Of course.
So
but
any
you did-
any
you,
uh,
did- you
uh,
seemed-
I
you
have
seem to have done quite well.
Oh, and one last thing. I want to thank the AI of this game for picking espionage ideas.
mhm.
I got an event which gave me faster spy network construction, so I had like 6 claims on Hungary. Huge
Well,
help.
it's glad it paid off.
Also, it made 2 lightships. AI made 2 lightships,
what?
which is good. I didn't know wood float on water. Did you guys know that wood floats on water?
No.
I didn't know
Ah,
that. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
AI
yeah,
did
yeah.
that.
But
What is this mystical
Bosnia,
water of which you
it
speak?
seems both you and Bohemia are gearing up to take the last bit of Hungary. Do you think you can work it out, or will there be trouble ahead?
He can take whatever Hungarian land he can claim. Is my stance.
That sounds quite diplomatic. It's very
Well,
interesting
my-
to see.
So
Does
which
anyone
of
have
the-
anyone questions for Bosnia?
So which of the players was it that rivaled you? Because I know that you had an alliance with, I believe, Florence, Bohemia. I did notice that both of them were no longer alliances, and I was a little bit curious what happened. That
It seems
kind of
Zeki has rivaled him.
Yes. To answer your question, basically, I was having a defensive alliance with Bosnia and was very much surprised that they took exactly the Hungarian lands they needed me to cut me off from the rest of it. So
No, dude,
that's not
it was
something
the
I-
Catholic parts. It was
which
the
is
Catholic
why I
parts.
broke the alliance and rivaled them.
I
And
am
we'll see
just,
what
I
happens
am
next
just
session.
protecting, I am just protecting the Catholic majorities.
So Bosnia, are you going to find
mean,
new
we have this
allies? or-
Terrible,
I am protecting the Catholic majorities from the Protestant menace.
heretic Catholics across the border that just have to
Dude,
be-
dude, the fucking,
they
the
have to
fucking
be.
Krakow thing, Reformation thing, is converting my land.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can.
we did. Yeah, we did see you highlight the Caliphate, the Caliphate of Crimea.
What?
Well, you know, since the Ottomans are dead, there's a new leader of the Sunni faith, and we're gonna have to go with Crimea for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
By Jason.
There's Tunis, dude. There's Tunis.
No. I need to unify Islam. I need a couple of provinces, but I think it's fine.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question for Bosnia? If not, I think it's wise to move on and ask how Florence did this session.
Oh, I did really well, thanks to the help of North Africa. We finally got rid of the annoying Italians a bit, and even could expand more in the New World, thanks to the trade outpost in Morocco. This is going well.
Yeah, you're taking Cuba or the Havana.
No,
No,
I can't.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, I saw that war against Portugal, which I believe happened because Castile was a bit worn out with France, who wouldn't honor the call.
Yep, that's
But,
exactly the time.
But yeah, no, seeing the no, I saw that war there. I didn't actually see that it pieced out. And now I see southern Portugal is now Tunisian. I saw you guys CO2 or however you say it. But yeah, no, I definitely was curious if you're going to be taking that center of trade, the second center of trade off of the Caribbean as a offset to a specific Dutch colonizer.
That was mostly because I need a colonial nation really fast and just take ages to colonize. And so I saw the opportunity to just take a lot of land fast. To get colonialism.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
I can deal with the Dutch about this area.
But are you going to butt heads with the Dutch for the colonial regions, or do you think you can work it out?
I think we can work it out. It should be possible. It's a bit diplo. We can avoid useless wars.
All right.
So what does it feel like being wedged in between two Ireland? You have Ireland and Mexico, and you have the true Irish who are doubling their development through colonizing the Dominica.
Well, they can't do anything because they are bankrupt. They just sad. I think they will integrate in the real island soon.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other question for Florence?
Not yet.
Okay. I was actually wondering. You declared the war on Venice, right? So who declared the war on Venice?
I really declared on Genoa, which was allied to Venice.
Okay. Yeah, you took the province of Genoa, but that's all you took, right?
And I took one other province.
Okay. All right.
That
does make yeah. You took Ceuta as well. It seems.
Yeah, but I took that long ago in a war versus Morocco, last session even. And then in Ceuta I took this war versus Portugal because I got the claim, was the opportunity.
Okay. Let's move on to Roperex, Holland, our Holland player. How did you think your session went?
Mexicans died.
That's the best way to put it, I presume.
Why are the Dutch not unified?
Aggressive expansion.
And you paid homage to a friendly player, I assume. You named Mexico to your big friend Tyrone.
Yes, my big friend Tyrone.
Yet you paid England off to aid him against Ireland.
Because Ireland saw that I declared on England, he declared as well and managed to only take one province before I completely occupied England.
Oh, so it was his fault that you were able to do it.
Well, for clarification, the province he took was a fort province that blocked him from moving further south.
Well, he didn't have ships.
I also, as a Saxony player, I also have to thank you for the subsidies you gave me. Let's be fair.
So Roperex is Holland is basically the bank of Europe.
You might get close to it at the moment. Roperex, what other idea groups are you planning to take next? It seems you're completely focused on colonizing at the moment.
Trade and plutocratic.
That makes sense for the Netherlands. Does anyone else questions for Holland? Except for maybe when do you think you'll be able to form the Netherlands?
Depends on how costly will Gelre and Utrecht be.
Quite costly, it seems.
Probably going to do it by
German has his microphone muted. Do you want to answer? Do you want to tell about your session as well?
Oh yes, I will enlighten you. Now, other than two crashes, of course, it went rather well. We dominated the Anatolia.
Yeah.
And was about to declare war on Karakoinlu before it crashed. That was my entire session.
And it seems Karakulunyu is occupied by quite some nations, so I expect you don't have a lot of trouble with Karakulunyu.
True.
Another question maybe. I know you've been friendly with the Knights all the time. Do you have any ties with Oman and Crimea? Because it seems you're surrounded by quite some player nations at the moment.
I'm in the diplomatic talks with at least 3 other nations.
All right.
So you're not empty-handed if Byzantium decides that he shouldn't share Anatolia with you.
Or anyone else for that matter.
Yeah.
Well, he already Byzantium did already jump a nation that was declared protected at the beginning of the session and was a bit upset about not being able to take anything.
Wait, when did he? When was it stated that he was?
I literally scrolled up and linked where I said the beginning of the session.
Oh, 129.
Yeah, 129. Well, that's Central Time. But yeah, our session. It was like right. It was I think like maybe a minute. It was either right before the session started or right as the session began. Pretty sure it was right before because I was sitting in the lobby doing it.
Hmm.
But yeah.
That's good to know.
Well, it's always a good thing to if you're unsure, then ask really, because we tend to protect players unless they dropped out completely.
Well,
as we said, we expect the Knights to make a comeback next session.
Yeah.
I mean, the Knights player did drop out. But it's not like, but we didn't say the nation is getting relocated. Was it this for clarification there? But unless it's getting relocated, unless it's declared dead, getting relocated, that's means the place is protected for the replacement player.
Exactly.
My main problem with that is that they were in the midst of taking over a bit of the land that we were about to take over ourselves, which was the main point of that.
That happens with AI though.
Yes, but it was pretty much like a defensive to stop that.
But wouldn't Knights have gotten those provinces anyway if you had worked together?
Correct.
Oh.
I expect the Knights would have gotten a little bit more if he was playing, because he seemed to have the worst part of the deal.
Well, the AI Knights pieced out like instantly.
Yeah. And he took the provinces himself afterwards.
My other question.
Original deal, I think the Knights would have gotten a lot more land if they would have stayed in. At least that's my assumption as well.
He was said to take pretty much the southern shoreline of Anatolia.
Also, it seems Byzantium hasn't pieced out the Knights yet, so we have to.
He wasn't able to.
Yeah, we can do that by console.
Okay.
That's it for Karaman.
I've got one question as well. So, just curiosity here. I was Hudenvigar, however you say that, the two centers of trade for Constantinople. I was surprised neither of you guys took either province. Between Kinnick or Hudenvigar.
Oh, that's for the next war.
Yeah, I was just surprised neither of you took it. I was just surprised that either of those centers of trade went out this war.
It would have been a great boost to economy and trade.
I have very little in the way of trade power in the continental node, and he wants.
Well, to be fair, he made Kandar. Someone made Kandar go back, or Kokanik go back to Kandar, and Karaman at least has no truce with Kandar and should be able to take Kandar out straight away after we start.
Yeah, that was why I was curious about the centers of trade, because those are both centers of trade. Hudenvigar or whatever is about equal with Constantinople for pure trade power for the node. So I was really kind of surprised that I was really surprised you didn't take either of those centers of trade.
That's a fair point.
Okay. Who's next on our list? That's
Northern Senate. Oh wait, Panpa. Sorry, he had AFK for 10-15 minutes and he got back. So.
Oh no, that's fine. I can go later on. You know, don't want to break the flow or anything.
No, by all means. If you don't go now, we're going to lose track. So how about you tell us about your session?
Alright, so well, since I got relocated this session, it was interesting. You know, I grabbed I think one miner or two. What was really unfortunate though, that my friend, like the Bahmanis player, Yedai, he messed up on co-belligerenting a miner in the Vijayanagar war. So I couldn't vassalize him, but well, I got a province off it, so at least something. I'm sorry, what was that?
Never mind. You had a decent session, you expanded as Bengal.
Yeah, it was decent except for the DC I had.
And
it was not too bad.
It seems you're very friendly with the Bamani players, right?
Yeah.
So
and also some other players, but that's gonna be a surprise.
Of course.
But what about the new player who's going to play in Shanpur? Are there any hopes for him?
New Jumper player?
Like, I'm actually serious. Jumper locked out because I was about to vassalize Nepal, but during my DC he took over Utsang, so I will have to do war with Nepal, take a few provinces off him before I can vassalize it. So, other than that, I'm pretty sure Jumper has no chance because we also have Delhi on our side.
Yeah.
Like, as long as he cannot get an alliance with Crimea, he's really practically screwed.
So Crimea is your big rival at the moment?
Who knows?
He's expanding
maybe we
quite
can work
fast.
something out with him. Maybe we can work something out with him.
Yes, yes, for people who are confused about that, yes, the Lorraine player before, Lorraine had gotten relocated to Jaunport. And then I think the Lorraine player dropped out.
We can move the Lorraine player into another nation if it's clear it has no.
Oh yes, I mean it's always yes, there's always ways to move. But to be fair, there are also 2 other powers to offset Bakhmani's Bengal for India.
Can I actually say something? Like, balance-wise, I would not want that, but balance-wise, I would actually put him into Langsang.
Langsang was considered already before this session.
Yeah, okay.
Lanchong, whatever was our, it nearly lost out to Jaunpur for the initial relocation. And it's going to get reevaluated at the end of the session since there is no player for Jaunpur.
Alright, shall we move on?
Yeah.
I think it's Palatinate, are you here?
Yes, hello.
Would you like to share something about your session?
Well, for me, the session, there wasn't really very much that was done. I was able to attack Salzburg and annex them early on, but I've been mostly gated by aggressive expansion, which is very high in the HRE.
At the moment, it seems your aggressive expansion has ticked down quite a lot. I see a few nations with 9 aggressive expansion at the moment.
I was about to like right before we ended the session. I'm like next session. I'm probably gonna start a war within like a couple of months.
Okay. Yeah. There are 2 nations with 11 aggressive expansion, but apart from that, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's because the annexation of Salzburg was very early on, and since I've been fighting against Poland with Saxony and Bohemia, and but I wasn't very badly hit. I still have more than half my manpower left, and I've got a good gold reserve as well, so I'm doing very well.
Very good. Does anyone else have a question for the Palatinate?
I have a very important question for the Palatinate, or however you say it. So, are you giving subsidies to Saxony to further simulate the vassal relationship you have? As your vassal tribute tax to Saxony?
No, I have not paid any form of subsidies as of now.
Just help each other out in wars, right?
So Saxony is putting on.
It's a close working military alliance.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, we help each other out with war. I see. Palatinates do either fight their own wars, and Saxony's like, well, I need some more Poland. Hey, Palatinate, how about you ship over your army to help out Poland here? And
we offered to help him against the war in Saxony or in Salzburg, but he said he was fine. And next time it's his turn again. So if he declares a war, it's our turn to jump in.
At some point, someone probably has to declare a war against someone bigger, and then I get the help.
I see. I just see like 5 or 6 different Saxony names throughout the territory. I only see a poor little Palatinate name. I don't know. I feel like this is a lopsided relationship.
Well, the only reason why I haven't expanded more is really because, well, as of now, it's the aggressive expansion that was high in Salzburg, and I couldn't exactly just ditch my allies for declaring my own wars. But it will come later, I hope. I assume.
Fair enough.
Just for reference, I mostly just poking fun at you because we've been joking about the Palatinate. We've been joking about spam having an HRE vassal swarm for some time now.
Yeah, he already
I
revoked
figured,
the privilege, or what it's called.
I rewrote the Western pussy chat room to Western Prushies.
But
further illustrate.
I think I'm next on the list. Or not?
Next on the list is you, Spam.
Yep. I had to start out really slow this session. I was completely tapped out on aggressive expansion. I had a really small coalition starting up. So I haven't been expanding a lot at the start of session, but as we all know, the Devonian Order went bankrupt last session. So in return for as a thanks for his help, that's the least thing we can do, is kill his rebels, because he had some separatists and he also had a peasants war coming up, and we helped him through it. Apart from that, I had to get the pragmatic sanction done, because I would lose the emperorship if I didn't do it. And the best way to fix that was to have the Livonian Order or have his land added to the HUE. So we started improving relationship between us, and just when we had the opinion to add his lands to the HUE, he clicked the button to turn Protestant. So that really hurt our opinion, but we solved it by selling Lubeck to me temporarily, and then he was small enough to add his provinces to the HUE. And once he added it, he got it back, and after that we started cooperating again. And it was a really tough war on Poland, because he was walking around with stacks of 60k at times. He got some Condottieri from Berlin we didn't expect, from Brandenburg, and we got in Muscovy, but he wasn't any help actually. So we had to siege down fort by fort, and eventually, after we got our armies united, we took a lot of land from him. I think that by weakening Poland, we weaken the Union as well. I think eventually the Lithuanian Union will break, because his liberty desire will get too big. And at the moment, I can take quite some extra land. I took 5 provinces from Poland. Three of those provinces had forts on them, so the next war should be easier. But I have a reduction of 60% of aggressive expansion now, because I'm paper controller. I working on influence ideas, and I got an event that reduces aggressive expansion by 20%. So I'm going to abuse that for a bit next session. And since I'm paper controller now, people can offer me deals to excommunicate a country. So if someone wants a nation excommunicated and it's possible, send me your offers, and I'm willing to excommunicate them.
I've got a few questions for you, Sam.
What's a pope?
So I'm aware that I was aware that Roperex was questing to maybe gain lectorship, and then I see that Gallery has been promoted to lectorship after Mainz died. Was that was that to give a point to Roperex on who the true Dutch were?
No. I gave that electorate to Gelre previous session already, and I was just looking for some minor that was far away from my expansion plan. So you don't want to pick up aggressive expansion with electors, and I just picked a small nation that wasn't relevant to anyone. That wouldn't pick a lot of aggressive expansion.
You do know.
It's a direct province needed for the Netherlands. I would say that's relevant to someone.
I mean, being an elector doesn't stop Roperex from taking.
Anyways, Gelre became Protestant, so they won't be here for much longer.
Like I said, then we make someone else an elector. It's fine. But until then, I had an elector that didn't hate me.
You know who else is kind of far away from your aggressive expansion modifier? Holland.
I know, but I really have to consider whether I want more players to become electors or not. I have to think about it.
All right. So the other thing I was noticing, while you had your 20k stack, Stomp Rebels, Livonian Order, you got a defensive call to arms from your ever faithful ally of Muscovy, which he proceeded to just continue to stomp rebels as Crimea was wrecking into them, despite the fact your 20k troops likely could have beaten back Crimea with Muscovy's 30k help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have fought that war, but I made an agreement with Crimea on that, and if I would have fought that war, there's no saying I would have won that, and the Livonian Order would have been destroyed by rebels, and I promised the Livonian Order to clear those rebels. So I could have done that, but then I would have broken my agreement with the Livonian Order, and that's not something you do after he goes bankrupt for you.
Not after you made him bankrupt, at least.
I don't think I was the one that made him bankrupt in that. I think some circumstances last session made it so that he went bankrupt.
And my final question will actually tie in with the papal controller aspect that I was not aware of now. So I did see that you got a Protestant Center Reformation that spawned in your capital as the Emperor. I'm a little bit confused on. I honestly have no idea how the Center Reformation spawns work at this point. I was under the assumption that it was you had to flip over.
I think the first Center of Reformation spawns automatically somewhere in the H3.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. I think you're right there.
And I'm actually glad it spawned on my capital, but I'm not sure whether I should reveal what I will do with it later.
Oh, alright. So are you planning? So I guess my question on this end, and you can obviously feel free to disclose as much you'd like on it. So obviously, to form Prussia, you would need to switch to Protestant or Reformed. The Protestant Reformation, Center Reformation, is quite helpful to you in that regards. Are you waiting for the Religious League to fire to switch to get a favorable outcome?
I can at least tell you I'm waiting for Admin Tech 10, so I can form Prussia the moment I turn Protestant. And afterwards, I'm going to consider my options, but I do think I have a very efficient plan to deal with my situation.
Oh dear God!
Are you going to stab someone?
I don't think that has to do anything with religion, so no.
Just this is a bit of an off-topic thing, but I do see that Petrus has influenced this game even further. I see the Knights have Grandmaster. I'm gonna say that U is an O. Grandmaster Petros III, at 544, ruling their glorious nation.
Yes.
Sorry, I had nothing to do with that. I just noticed that on the top. I just noticed that there, to where it's.
Bosnia lost their original dynasty, anyways.
But they became Greek, didn't they? Or was it Byzantium? One of the two.
Byzantium, yes, Byzantium now has their original dynasty, but Bosnia changed it when they broke to rebels, when they were AI controlled, I think.
No, I had a civil war, which of course I wasn't going to win. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to say. I'm very well on my way to become Prussia, of course.
Oh yes.
So who's next on our list?
Lord Lomo.
Yeah, Lord Lomo, I'm not sure he's going to say anything. He just wanted to hear.
Okay. And next up, then final would be. Yep.
Yeah, right. Well, my session also started quite slowly because I had a truce with both Morocco and my vassal Tlemcen, which I later on broke up to declare on because he was never ever be willing to be loyal again. So first of all, I helped the Italian guy with his war in Genoa and got a good chunk of ducats out of that. A really nice chunk of ducats. Regardless of that, I really wanted the last 15 minutes of the session to happen, because that's the point where my expansion actually happened, where I was finally able to declare on both Tlemcen, Morocco and Portugal, kind of at the same time. Yeah, I gained multiple provinces out of it, including the vassals, good over 10. Like, yeah, I grew a good chunk in this session. I made a good chunk of ducats. I have I'm on a good way to even further strengthen my position, and I'm looking forward to fight Castile to form Al-Andalusia.
It seems you're in luck because Castile is fighting off Aragon without a lot of success at the moment. But how do you think about Holland? Oh no, I thought it was Holland. But you do have you don't mind Florence being in Morocco.
That was part of the plan before. I granted him the province of Tangier so he can go colonize. And I also got a good chunk of ducats for that. So I, for my part, never do anything without anything in return. So
of course,
don't you worry about these pink provinces. Those were worth a good chunk of ducats, or a good chunk of troops, or
you're also going
whatever
to
needed.
expand eastwards because it's actually quite surprising you haven't touched the Mamluks yet. But that would also put you at odds with perhaps Karaman and Oman.
Yes, but that's not too big of an issue. I still have another backup plan, which you will see in the next session. Regarding the expansion against the Mamelukes, I wasn't really eager to fight them on my own, because there are plenty other players who would have an interest in fighting the Mamelukes with me, so why waste resources on fighting them on my own?
Does anyone else have a question for Tunis?
Doesn't seem that way, and with that, seems like that'd be the end of the interview. Thank you guys very much for participating in this. This is obviously the first. This is obviously the first time this has happened. So things will get a little bit more refined going through it. But yeah, no, it's definitely been nice to get more input on what's going on. There's only so much guesswork I can do as an observer.
And there's only so much we know about the game and play styles as well.
Yes, it was an experience from our side. I thank you all for coming to our interview, and I'm glad you all shared some light on your playing style in your session. And if you like being on interview, I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, I'd like to get this. I'd like to get this done, like probably about every week, as much as people are willing to.
Not many objections.
Yeah. All right. I think us admins and judges have to go into the.
We have to kick people out of our room.
Our ratings, right?
Yep.
Oh, then.
See ya.
All right, bye.
See you guys.
All right,
Hello. See you.
See you next week.